Alicia Humphrey, and I'm with AMBC. I'm their public relations coordinator, so I do a lot of outreach and education with students just like yourself. And today we are actually at a sow farm. We're at Taurus Sow in southern Iowa. We're indoors today, and I'm going to explain why we're indoors in just a little bit. But before I do a live kind of tour of what's happening here on the farm today, I just have a couple of slides. I just want to kind of give a brief overview of the company and to give you some insight into the pork industry, to give you a better picture of why it's so important about the job that we do here on the farm. So just 1 minute as we switch over the technology here. So to get started, so as I mentioned, I work for AMBC, and we are a swine management company, and we're all about professionally raising pigs. And I'm going to explain what that management side is all about in a minute here. So why do we do what we do? So we raise pigs. Pigs are raised for meat, right? Everyone loves a good pork chop, bacon, ribs. All that comes from pigs. And it takes people to raise pigs today. And one of the ambitious goals of the industry and kind of the world is, we know it's a growing population, and we have by 2050 we're going to have to feed 9 billion people, and so pork plays an important role in that. Pork is a very good protein source for people, and it's the #1 most widely consumed meat in the world. So a little bit about AMBC. We are based in Audubon, Iowa, and we started off as a vet clinic. Audubon Manning Veterinary Clinic is what our roots are in. We're a mixed animal practice. We still have veterinarian clinics today. But about 25 years ago, there's farmers in the community who wanted some help raising pigs, and they turned to the veterinarians there in town and looked for their expertise and insight, and they said yes. So we've been managing pig farms for 25 years. We're actually the 9th largest pork producer in the world, or in the US today. So as I mentioned, we are managing about 149,000 sows across 42 farms, about half of those here in the state of Iowa. We are mostly based in western Iowa. We've got a few farms in Northwest, a few in the southern part of Iowa, but mostly in that west central part, right around the Audubon County, Cass County, Shelby County, Guthrie County, in that region. We manage the marketing of about 1.3 million market hogs across 3 different states. And our farms that we manage are owned by various groups of people. They could be owned by AMBC, independent family farmers, farmer co-ops, groups of farmers, or groups of investors that own into a sow farm. And I should back up 1 second. A sow farm is where a sow is a female pig, so mama pigs. So here at our farm, there's lots of mama pigs, and they give birth to piglets. So as a management company, we provide every single kind of resource you could think of to run a pig farm. So whether that's hiring and training people with human resources, whether that's accountants, doing paying the bills, receiving checks, things like that, production management, making sure our farms are hitting their goals, swine health. We have, as I mentioned, we're a veterinarian-based company. We have over 20 veterinarians on staff. We are really focused on doing the right thing for the animals, and so we provide that herd health for all of our farms. Pigs, of course, produce manure, and every farm is required to have a manure management plan. We need to know how much manure that farm produced, where that manure is going, what crop is being raised on that field ground where that manure is going, and the manure is tested. So there's a lot of work that goes into that. We have a division of our company that works strictly in nutrient management, as well as IT and data management. Here at the farm, we keep a ton of records, and I'll show you a few things here at the farm about that. But we basically know the history of every single animal on this farm, all the production records. We track all of that. So a lot of fun things happening within the company. So we, of course, are a very large company. We employ over 700 people. in various career roles across the company. Majority of those are animal caretakers, people that got to work here on the farm with the animals every day, making sure they have all their needs are met here on the farm. And I'll talk about some tasks here in a little bit as well. And at AMBC, we're all about doing the right thing every day, whether that's for our people, our pigs, or the communities in which our farms are located. We're going to do the right thing every day. You can see our core values listed out there, as well as some of our value statements. We were founded as a vet clinic, right? We were solutions to people who are needing help with their cattle or small animals. That transitioned in that swine management company. We were that solution to those farmers. And today we are committed to being those problem solvers, delivering on our farms every day, and making sure we're doing the right thing every day as well. And so to kind of give you a better picture of what we're going to talk about today, pig farming, there's a lot of different stages of life and tasks that are happening. So here at our farm, the two stages of life that happen is that breeding and gestation, as well as farrowing. So farrowing is the act of giving birth. And so those are the two tasks happening here. But after pigs give birth, those piglets are with their mom for about 21 days, and they head to a nursery or to a finishing farm, and they will live the rest of their life there before they head to our packing plants where they're made into meat. So we don't have pigs that are growing here after they're 21 days old. These piglets will leave our farm. They'll actually get on a livestock truck, and another farmer will take care of them. Our barn here is not built for growing pigs. It is built for mama pigs and babies, and we strictly, it is a really big farm, but we do not have enough space to keep every single pig here to raise them until market weight. So our fun is with the babies here on the farm. And now we'll go back to the sow farm. So that gave you a really big overview of information. I know that was a lot of information, but now comes the fun part of seeing what is here on the farm. And to start off with, I just want to talk about what I am wearing. So as you can see, my hair is kind of wet. It's in a messy bun. I'm not wearing any makeup, and I'm wearing these blue coveralls here on the farm. So at the sow farm, it's a shower in, shower out farm, which means that when our employees come to work every day, they're going to take a shower. There's individual showers here on site. Your street clothes will stay on one side of the shower, you'll shower in, and then the farm actually provides the clothes on the other side. And why do we do that? It's for the health of our pigs. Pigs are very susceptible to disease, and we don't want them to get sick, so we do everything we can to protect our animals. So one of the great benefits of working at a pig farm is you can literally wear sweatpants and a t-shirt to work. You don't have to do your hair and makeup because when you get to work, you're going to take a shower, as well as when your work day is done, you're going to actually shower out of the farm as well. So your farm clothes will stay at the farm, you go back in the shower, and then put on your street clothes and go home for the day. So that is why I am wearing what I am. So now we're going to talk about the pigs. So you can see here, we have a sow, a mama pig, as well as her piglets. She just gave birth today. There's 13 piglets in this litter. And as you can see, they are trying to nurse on their moms. So the mom has a lot of antibodies and colostrum in her milk that these piglets need. So they will nurse on their mom for 21 days. When they're born, they come out of their mother, and the inside temperature of their mom is, over 100 degrees, and they arrive into this world, into this sparing room at about 80 to 90 degrees. So it's a temperature shift for them, so they are cold. So what we do is we use this powder. It's a white powder, and it dries the piglets. So it's kind of like a towel per se. So to kind of put it into perspective, if you went swimming and you jumped out of the swimming pool, you want a towel, right? Because there's a temperature difference between the water and the air, right? And so you want to be warmed up. Same thing with the piglets. They need to be warmed up when they arrive, because we want them to start off on a good foot in life. In addition, to help them warm up, we put them on this white heat pad here. So this is a warming pad, so they will, when they're not eating, they will actually be resting on the warmth of the pad there. So that's where they spend majority of their time. They're either sleeping or they're eating. So they're either at the hotel or they're at the restaurant, is where they are at. And these little piglets, they were just born today. So in a few days, we're actually going to process these piglets. There's a few tasks that have to happen for them to have a good life. So one of those tasks will be docking their tails. So when we move our piglets away from their mom at 3 weeks of age, they're gonna go to that finishing farm like I talked about. And that finishing farm is a really big pen, really big area. And pigs are naturally curious animals. So they're gonna bite and nip at each other. And a tail is a pretty, unique thing. So they're gonna bite and nip at each other's long tails, which will cause bleeding, disease, and death. And no farmer wants that for their pigs. So when the pigs are little, we're actually gonna dock their tails, make them shorter, so we don't have that problem later on in life. In addition, they're gonna get a shot of iron. Pigs are naturally deficient in iron, so we wanna give them that extra boost in life as well. In addition, we're gonna castrate the male piglet. And you're gonna say, well, why do you do that? We castrate the male piglet because as that male piglet will grow, the meat of that pig will become tainted. It will have a foul taste and odor, and no consumer wants to buy that. And the whole goal of raising pigs is to produce pork for consumers to eat and to enjoy. And so if we castrate the male piglet, it'll have excellent meat quality and when it goes to market. In addition, today's processing plants don't have the capacity to process that male anatomy in their processing line as well. So we're gonna castrate them when they're little, and then we're gonna give them a little antibiotic just so that they start their life off on a good start with all the different processes we have done with them, so they don't get any infection when they're little. But they're just gonna enjoy themselves here with mama. As you can see, the piglets have their own space to roam around, and mama pig, she has her own space. She's got access to feed and water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's all automatic. The feed in this sparing room will drop 3 times a day. It'll drop at 7:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m., and then 7:30 p.m. So they have the proper nutrition that they need for their stage of life. We have a PhD swine nutritionist on staff who formulates those diets, making sure that she has those energy needs to be able to produce enough milk for her babies to thrive on as well.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
Since you castrate the males,
I think I forgot to mention about our system. So we've got 42 sow farms. We also have 2 boar studs, one in Iowa, one in South Dakota. And at those boar studs, we collect those boars, we collect their semen, and we do artificial insemination on our sow farms. So our sows will get 2 doses of semen within 24 hours for them to become pregnant. And then after we breed them about 5 to 7 weeks, at 5 and 7 weeks, we're gonna ultrasound them to confirm their pregnancy. And then they're gonna have a pregnancy, the rest of their pregnancy, which is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. That's their gestation length. That's how long it takes for those babies to properly form before they give birth. So we have a few boars here on site. And they are just more of a stimulant for those sows as we're artificially inseminating them. So they produce, boars, as I said, produce, their meat is tainted, but they also produce an odor themselves that helps stimulate those sows so that we can breed her and have a successful, pregnancy for her. So good question. I forgot to include that in the beginning. So all of our
Misha, I've got a follow-up question there too. Are vets the ones that are doing all of those things, or are your animal caretakers?
Good question.
Whose
Yes.
role is that?
It is our animal caretakers. So the people who work in our farrowing rooms with all the mamas and babies, that is part of their daily tasks. They will process all those tasks I just listed. It's called processing. That's what they will be doing. They'll also make sure the sows have fresh feed and fresh water. They will also, if a sow is having trouble giving birth, they'll actually help deliver her piglets as well. You can see back here is our little farrowing kit. So it's got gloves and gel there to help sleeve that sow. They also take her temperature. They will take notes on her litters. So as I mentioned, we keep a lot of records. So on her sow card here, it says that her ear tag number, so every sow has an ID. It says how many litters she's had previously. So she's had 2 litters before this one. She's located in room 9. She's in row D, crate number 2. Today is day 53 in the pig calendar world. And she's had 13 piglets, no stillborns, no mummies. And when they took her temperature, it was 100.3. So, and on day 53 is the day she farrowed. So we keep all of that information so we know the next time, what's her average number of piglets that she will have, or what is her average gestation length? Does she farrow early? Does she farrow late? We keep lots and lots and lots of records here. It just helps us make good business decisions if we have them. This is kind of similar to like your report card. We can see what is good, what is bad through these record keeping. And we use technology here on the farm. We have tablets here in our farrowing room. So yes, they wrote on this card, but they're going to enter it into a tablet, which then formulates all the data. The data is sent off, reports are generated, and then we can compare how this month is doing compared to last month or last year, and see where we can improve on. As pig farmers, we're always striving to be better than the day before. So if we keep records, we can have pretty good benchmarks and see what the trends look like. So that's another thing. So yes, to the question about do you have to be a vet to do this? No, actually, a lot of people who work at AMBC in the sow farm have no swine experience whatsoever. They have never worked with pigs before. So we do all hands-on training at the farm. You don't really have to know anything about pigs previously. As long as you have a good attitude and you want to learn, we will totally teach you to how to work with the pigs.
And we do have a question. Becky asked, how many litters does each sow have on average?
Sure, good question. So a sow can have about 2 to 3 litters a year, just depending on when she's bred and when she farrows. And then how long we keep her in the herd. It depends on her records. If she's a good mom, she's producing a lot of pigs, she keeps those pigs alive, we're going to keep her longer in the herd. If she's not doing a very good job, we're actually going to call her. She's going to leave the herd. We have a schedule that we're always bringing in new animals. We call them gilts. Those are pigs that have never given birth before. They're female animals, and we will bring them into the farm in groups. And those, so we always are bringing in new animals to keep the herd going. Because if you have an older herd, you're not going to have very many piglets. It's just kind of a fact of life. The younger the pigs are, the more prolific they're going to be. So it just depends on records and how she's doing. But I'd say every year we'll see 2 to 3 litters out of one sow. Good question. Do you have any more questions before I keep going?
What kind of qualifications do you need to be a caretaker? What did you say after stillborn? And is there an age requirement?
Sure, all great questions. So to work at AMBC, you have to be at least 14 years of age. Between the ages of 14 and 16, there are child labor laws. So there's only certain tasks and certain hours that you're allowed to work. But we do hire high school students. After you turn 16, you're allowed to do more tasks at the farm. If you go full-time at the farm, you can do every task on the farm. There's a lot of training and certifications that you get along the way to help you be better prepared for all the tasks. And we train you so that you are comfortable with the tasks. We're not going to show you once and expect that you're going to know how to do it. That's not how it works here on the farm. We're going to have you work with someone side by side for several days and several weeks on different tasks. So you're comfortable, so that you're safe, the pigs are safe throughout that. The only qualification, we do a pre-employment drug screen and a pre-employment background check before you're allowed to work at AMBC, as well as you cannot have pigs on the land in which you live. You cannot live with somebody who also works with pigs. And you cannot also be doing pig chores for somebody else and working at AMBC. So the whole point of that is if our pigs are healthy and you're working with someone or have contact with sick pigs, we don't want any sort of disease transfer between that either way. So we, as I mentioned earlier, it's a lot more fun taking care of healthy pigs than sick pigs. So we do a lot of things to make sure our pigs stay healthy. So that is just one of the kind of requirements, is that you don't have any other pig contact to that would possibly get our pigs sick as well. And then the other question about stillborns, the other word after that was mummies. So when the pigs are born, they could be, a reason why they could die is because they were a mummy inside of her before they came out, and we would record that on this sheet. And here it has dashed lines, which means she had none. So she had 13 healthy pigs, all alive. So no dead pigs in her litter.
And how many pigs can a sow have at one time?
Sure, so it all depends on the sow. The average litter size, I would say, is about 13 or 14 pigs. I've seen litters as big as 20 plus. So it all depends on the age of the sow, the genetics that you're using, things like that. So I would say this litter is an average litter, and we hope to wean about 12 or 13 pigs per litter as well. And weaning is that process of taking those 21-day-old piglets and putting them on that livestock truck is the act of weaning. And so we hope from this particular pen that 12 or 13 of them will be healthy and ready to go to the next farmer to take care of them.
Where would I go to apply for a caretaker position?
Absolutely. We have a website, www.ambcms.com. You can click apply now and it'll have all of our career opportunities listed, and you can see them there. And if you are close to one of our farms and you are in high school or still have time left in high school, we do actually have scholarships for our employees. So if you're an employee of ours and you work for us, you kind of accrue money throughout your employment length with us. And if you're still employed when you graduate your senior year, your farm manager or production manager or somebody from our HR team will come and present that scholarship. You don't have to apply. Does not matter what your grades are. As long as you are an employee of ours and have worked for us, you'll receive that scholarship. And it's all depending on the length of employment. So if you started your freshman year and worked through senior year, the maximum is 1,000, but every year you work for us, you accrue money. So this depends on the months, but the maximum is 1,000, but you have to have worked those 4 years to achieve that larger amount. Yes.
And then the other question we have here is, can we see a little bit more of the facility so we can see the size of the facility?
Sure. So in this room, you can see that there are 4 rows of farrowing stalls. There are 16 rooms on the farm that are this size. This sow farm is about a 4,800 head sow farm. We have 3 other barns on this site, and they are for breeding and gestation. So majority of our sows are gestating, right? They're pregnant, they're just hanging out, waiting to give birth. And so they are in another barn where there's other animal caretakers who are making sure that they get their fresh feed and fresh water. They're doing ultrasounding, they're breeding over there, things of that nature. And I mean, there's a lot of technology. You can see this is where our feed is. So this feed system, as I said, it comes on 3 times a day. It'll drop right into this feeder. We have water. We have automatic water. She just has to push down on that water, and water will come out. There is a little water at the bottom here, and those ones are for the piglets. We have ventilation here, so all of our ventilation here is the most, newest and best technology. Our sow farm manager can actually run the different temperatures through a cell phone. Through her phone, she can see what rooms are what temperature, and she can adjust them right through herself. Our sows are as you can see, are making a little bit of noise. Their feet will drop at 11:30, so they know it's about that time when they're gonna get fed again, and so they're hungry here. In addition, I want to show the slats. So within each of these little pens, their manure will drop down through the slat there, and they'll go into a pit. And as I talked about manure management, their manure will be flushed into a slurry store. We'll store that manure so we can apply it on that crop ground. So here at this particular farm, right outside the windows, you'll see crop ground. So we grow corn and soybeans here. We produce not quite enough to feed them for a whole year, so we do buy corn and soybeans from local farmers. We utilize the local mill, and the feed truck is here several times a week delivering feed for the sows. So the sows at farrowing have a different diet than the sows in breeding and gestation. They get a different diet, so they have different bins, different feed lines that will run into those barns. We have, I don't know, heaters and control air. So there's just a lot of technology here at the farm. I don't know what else you wanted to know. Throughout our farm, we have boot washing stations. As I mentioned, we want to keep things as clean as possible. We don't want any sort of disease spread. So right now I'm wearing rubber boots. In between our different departments, we will disinfect and wash our boots. Another important thing is when these sows are done giving birth and their piglets leave our farm, this whole room will be washed, disinfected, and sanitized before our next group of pigs will come in. We don't want any type of disease transfer if the pigs previous were sick. We don't want the next group to be sick. We kind of think of these farrowing rooms as like a maternity ward in a hospital. So these are our ladies, you know, just like a hospital, your mom or aunt or somebody will go to the hospital to give birth. You want that place to be clean and sanitary and warm. Same thing for these sows here giving birth. We want a clean, sanitary spot for them to give birth to their piglets to help them get on with a good start of their life as well. And as you can tell, this is in real time. It's just a sow who is hitting the feeder. She thinks if she hits it, some feed will drop out, but it is automatic, so she will have to wait for that feed to come out. In here, so these sows are just a little antsy because they're going to give birth, you know, any hour, any minute now they should be giving birth, so they're a little bit antsy, but typically it's really quiet in here. And when they are giving birth, our caretakers are very quiet. They don't want to disturb the animal by any means. They're there to kind of be their nurse, right? They're like a newborn nurse is what their job is, making sure mama's doing good, making sure babies are doing good. So if you like animals or baby animals, a career in the swine industry, especially on a pig farm like this, might be of interest to you. Right now, I am just outside of Preston, Iowa. I'm in Union County in southern Iowa.
Okay.
But A&BC has pig farms, as I mentioned, all across western Iowa, as well as multiple other different states. So, yep. And as you know, Iowa is the #1 pig producing state in the country. So if A&BC does not have a location near you, there's lots of other pig companies just like ourselves who I'm sure would love to have you on their team as well to help care for pigs.
Great. Alicia, thank you so much for your time this morning and for all the information. We really, really appreciate it. It was fun to get an inside look. And students, if you have any follow-up questions, make sure you contact myself. I can put you in touch with Alicia. Check out their website for opportunities, and we hope this was helpful this morning. So Alicia, have a great day. Students, thanks so much for joining. Have a great day as well.
Yep, awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm sure Amy can pass on my contact information if you have any further questions. But other than that, have a great day.